Hi, this is Dean Odell with 7 Gables Real Estate in the Odell Group. Today is July 8th. It's time for another Tustin Talks. We skipped last week because of the 4th of July weekend, and next week we're going to have another video. So this is kind of just a little filler so that we don't lose track on what's going on in the marketplace. As a matter of fact, according to Steve Thomas's newest report, Orange County Housing Report, want to give him credit, he has spotted 5 trends, and we're going to talk about that. So let's start with those 5 trends. And also, excuse us for the different type of setting here for the Tustin Talks, but my film director is not here today, so we are just going to go really rough on this and let's see if it works. Okay, so let's start with housing trend number 1. Housing trend number 1, there are more homes available to purchase and inventory is starting to rise. So that's number 1. Number 2, the demand is starting to drop. So we have inventory rising, we have demand dropping. So that's going to loosen up the market a little bit. Trend number 3 is closed sales are the highest level they've been since 2005. So new record. Trend number 4, fewer homeowners are opting to sell their homes. And we know that listings are sparse. What we don't understand is what people are waiting for, quite honestly. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And trend number 5, the pressure is building for mortgages to rise, interest rates, that is, which is going to cut affordability and demand. So as a matter of fact, had we not had the events of last year, interest rates would have been 3.75% by now. Instead, they're still closer to 3. And the reason for that is the government is buying all the mortgage-backed securities because, of course, the investors, they don't want risk and they don't want much to do with those right now. So eventually, the government will pull out of buying those mortgage-backed securities in the secondary market, which will leave it to the private investors to bid on. And when that happens, that's when we're going to see interest rates go up. They're predicting that's going to start happening towards the end of the year, expecting rates to get up to about 3.5%. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let's go to our regular charts and talk about how our charts correspond with what these 5 trends maybe just showed. All right, so let's start with the active listing inventory here. And the active listing inventory for the first time in a long time is actually up. It's up 8%. Which is only about 174 homes, but nevertheless, our inventory is at 2,388 homes. Now, before we get too excited about that, just understand that 2,388 homes is still 64% less than the 5-year average. So we may have bounced a little bit on inventory, but we got a long way to go. Let's look at the next chart. The 5 things that we talked about was that inventory was up and demand has dropped, and it has dropped. It has dropped by 7%. The demand is at 2,906 homes, which is down about 200 something homes. But nevertheless, the demand is down. And this really signifies kind of a normal trend that we see going into a summer market. There's a misconception out there that, summer markets are the busiest markets, and they're not. The spring is the busiest market. And so summer is when people are taking vacations and going and do things. And, right now everybody's going crazy. They're trying to get their traveling in. So we are seeing a natural slowing of the market, and we're still seeing sellers that want to put their home on the market in the summer because it's still a good time to sell, just not quite as good as the spring.
Hey, sorry to interrupt this program, but we want to make sure you are subscribed to Tustin Talk, so please click on the subscribe button below. And then if that doesn't work, just go to theodellgroup.com, or you can go to youtube.com/Tustin Talks. Now let's get you back to the program.
Well, the next chart's going to break it down. I call this my favorite chart. It's the speed of the market, and it shows the demand by price range. So you can look at the expected marketing time this year versus last year. So you can compare, you can see how much that has dropped, especially over the $1 million price range. From $1 million all the way up to $4 million. Boy, the time has really, really dropped a lot. So you can see how that is. And you can also see how the share of current demand compares with the share of inventory. So anytime you have demand exceeding inventory, you can look at those percentages. That's going to make for a faster and faster market. You can see that things don't start to level off until right around 1,250,000 to 1,500,000. You've got 9% of the housing inventory that makes up 9% of the demand. But even so, because of the speed of this market, is still a seller's market because we're seeing multiple offers all the time in that price range. This just averages the Orange County expected marketing time. And like we said in our last Tustin Talks, we were expecting that to start rising, and it has. It's gone from 22 days to 25 days. Nothing crazy, but nevertheless, it is slowing down a little bit, right? Because we have more inventory, less demand, taking a little bit longer for things to sell. But what we don't know is, are people going to come back from vacation and just go absolutely crazy again, right? So we'll see in the next coming episodes here what the data is showing. All right, so that'll be our last chart and little advice and what we noticed in the first half of the market. First of all, I got to commend our team. Our team was just unbelievably amazing in the first half. They did almost as much business in the first half of the year as we did all last year, and last year was a record-setting year. So it's just been crazy. The people on our team are just so good, all our staff and all our salespeople, and I just want to thank all of them for just an amazing first half and the great job that they did for our clients. Our clients are walking away from these deals happier than ever, and lots of good testimonials. So for you buyers and sellers out there that need some help in this market, we know how to navigate it. We're selling very, very well right now, both on the buyer side and the listing side of the transaction. We understand what's going on out there, so we can give you some really good advice. We'll see you on the next Tustin Talks, which will feel a little bit more normal than this Zoom call recording setting, right? So, all right, you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, don't forget the Odell Group is one of the top 10 teams in Orange County. We have sold thousands of homes. So draw from our experience and let us help you out. Subscribe right now and watch our videos to educate yourself, whether you're a buyer, seller, or both. And then visit our website at theodellgroup.com and reach out. And let's get to know each other so we can help you. All right? Thanks. Bye-bye.